Claim, the warming of the Earth is man-made. Facts, the same time Earth faces warming, or cooling, astrophysicists observe the same relative warming on Mars or Jupiter. It is hard to imagine that man-made CO2 is causing warming on other planets as well. Claim, GHG forcing is warming the Earth. Facts, in the IPCC climate model the so-called total solar irradiance (EAST) used to calculate the total energy from the Sun, every warming that cannot be explained from their total solar irradiance is then attributed to GHG. The problem is that IPCC is only considering light as total solar irradiance, so the term is completely misleading. The IPCC is not considering energy via X-rays, particles, magnetic waves or electric forcing from the Sun. It is known that solar spots make a major part of the solar intensity, yet those spots are not fully accounted by the IPCC. It is known that sunspots are dark black, do they send out no visible light yet they do contribute considerably to the heating. Therefore a solar intensity model based on sunspots leads to results that IPCC cannot explain in their models and falsely attributes the effect to CO2. Claim, CO2 acts like a blanket. CO2 is not a blanket. CO2 radiates off energy to all colder bodies, in particular to space, which is almost a perfect heat sink. A perfect heat sink means space can take up heat without itself warming, keeping the temperature gradient unchanged. This means CO2 contributes to cooling the Earth and not to warming it. IPCC claim that cold air with CO2 would radiate back to the warmer Earth surface. Claim, infrared radiation is symmetric. Infrared radiation is no light bulb. It does not send out heat photons into all directions like some claim that is pure fission. Water does not flow up the hill. Water flows only down the hill along the gravitational gradient. Infrared radiation flows along the temperature gradient from warm to false. There is no flow of heat into both directions. There is no infrared phonons emitted into the Earth's direction like some claim, destructive interference. Claim, the poles are melting. Facts, the South Pole keeps growing by 1 to several meters every year. The Amundsen Polar Research Station built at the South Pole has been swallowed by snow and ice in the last decade. Only the roof of the former station is still visible, the rest has been buried under eternal ice. See 030 how the new station is built on poles to set it higher every spring. See 3100 to see how the previous station is already swallowed by ice and only accessible via digging the previous entrance open. The original station is deeply buried in eternal ice. Amundsen Station on South Pole. Claim, Greenland is melting away. Facts, Greenland had the coldest summer in more than 100 years in 2018 and added considerable ice. Greenland has been used for nuclear testing in the 50s and 60s. A nuclear city was built for this purpose. Recently scientists decided to revisit this city. They had to drill 30 meters into the ice as the old town is completely covered inside huge ice masses. Abandoned nuclear city deeply buried in ice. Greenland really melting away? Claim, Manhattan and all islands will be flooded when the North Pole melts. Facts, the North Pole has no land mass and there exist no research stations built on ground. The North Pole is ice mountains and ice floating in water. Would this ice melt then sea levels would not rise at all because the ice has already pushed sea levels higher. Due to warmer temperatures sea levels may even sink, when the melting ice cools the oceans while the higher temperatures evaporates more humidity. Claim, 99% of all scientists agree. Facts, 99% of climate warming scientists also believe that melting ice mountains will rise sea levels, because it sounds intuitive, but it is wrong. 100% once believed the Earth was flat. Whoever contradicts in this politicized world is in risk of losing his reputation or research money. There is no research money for research that contradicts conventional climate alarmism. A good example is former Sir Watson, Nobel Prize laureate, professor of biology, famous for the Watson-Crick DNA model. Now stripped of his titles because he dared to say that race and IQ are connected. Therefore watch what you say, a fact well known to Chinese and former Soviet Union researchers. If you do not support climate warming, you can't teach physics, mathematics or whatever in today's world. The IPCC does not invite disagreeing scientists for a vote. They get banned. Zarkova, who built the best existing solar model, got banned by IPCC and the British Royal Academy, because her model can exactly explain the climate of the past 5,000 years through solar irradiance. Claim: CO2 is bad for the environment. Facts: CO2 is the most important factor for plant growth. Higher CO2 can increase plant growth from 10 to 50%. There is no doubt that this is a self-regulating, powerful process that protects our planet.